You woke up this morning and checked your phone. Maybe before you got out of bed. Maybe before you said a single word to anyone. Maybe before you even opened your eyes fully. And if someone asked you why, you'd probably say something like, "I just wanted to see if anything happened overnight." Or, "I always do that." Or maybe you wouldn't have an answer at all because you didn't really think about it. That's the thing, you didn't think about it. And that gap between what you do and what you consciously decide is larger than most people ever realize. Here's a question worth sitting with. How many of your actions today were actually chosen? Not automatic, not habitual, not triggered by something in your environment. Genuinely, consciously chosen. You might think the answer is most of them. Research says otherwise. Studies out of Duke University found that approximately 45% of daily behaviors are not decisions. They are habits, automatic responses to context, patterns that run without your input, without your awareness, and often without your approval. 45%, nearly half of what you do today, you will not choose to do. It will simply happen. And the other 55%? A significant portion of that is influenced by factors you're not consciously tracking either. Your physical state, your emotional baseline, what you were just exposed to, what the people around you are doing. The slice of your day that is truly, freely chosen is far smaller than the story you tell yourself about who's in charge. Watch yourself for a moment, not metaphorically, but literally. Watch the micro moments. The hand that reaches for the phone before the mind has formed a reason. The eyes that jump to a notification before you've processed what it says. The body that shifts toward the couch the second boredom flickers. None of these are decisions, they are reflexes, and reflexes don't ask for permission. Your brain is not designed to consciously process every movement, every glance, every impulse. The brain automates to survive. But here's the problem. That same system, the one that automates behavior to protect you, is now operating inside an environment that was specifically built to hijack it. Every notification is a cue. Every infinite scroll is a cue. Every autoplay, every red badge, every thumbnail placed with surgical precision. And your nervous system has been trained to respond to them automatically, before you notice, before you choose, before the conscious mind even enters the conversation. You are not making decisions. You are following grooves. And the deepest grooves, the ones that run your life most consistently, are the ones you never felt being carved. Now let's talk about how this actually works, because understanding the mechanism is the first step to seeing through it. Control in the modern world does not look like force. It doesn't look like someone telling you what to do. It doesn't look like restriction or pressure or coercion. It looks like ease. It looks like a door that opens before you knock. It looks like an answer that arrives before you finish the question. It looks like a path so frictionless that you forget you're walking it and forget that someone built it for you. Your brain is an efficiency machine. Its primary job is to conserve energy by outsourcing decisions to the environment whenever possible. When something is easy, your nervous system tags it as safe. When something delivers a result quickly, it tags it as valuable. When something requires zero effort, it tags it as default. This is not a weakness. This is brilliant evolutionary design. But evolution did not build you for an ecosystem engineered to exploit exactly those preferences at scale. Every app, every platform, every product you interact with daily has been optimized for one metric above all others: retention. Not your happiness, not your productivity, not your well-being. Retention, time on platform. And retention is won by removing friction, by delivering novelty before your curiosity fully forms, by offering stimulation before boredom has a chance to develop into something useful, by making the next step so seamless that stopping feels like the interruption, not continuing. You are not being pushed into these behaviors. You are being pulled, gently, invisibly, continuously. And the pull is disguised as convenience, as personalization, as a service built just for you. Now, let's talk about dopamine, because this word is everywhere and it's almost always misrepresented. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical. That is a myth that has been repeated so many times it feels like fact. Dopamine is the anticipation chemical. It is your brain's signal that something might be rewarding, not that it is. It drives seeking behavior. It creates the urge to reach, to refresh, to check again. Not because you'll definitely find something satisfying, but because the pattern has previously suggested you might. This is a critical distinction. Dopamine doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel like you're about to. And that feeling, that sense of potential reward just around the corner, is far more compelling than reward itself. It keeps you scrolling, not because the content is good, but because the next piece of content might be. It keeps you checking, not because there's a message, but because there could be. Now layer this with what happens when your environment delivers constant, low-effort stimulation. Every few minutes, all day, every day. Your brain adapts, it recalibrates, it adjusts its baseline expectations for what normal stimulation looks like. And when the baseline shifts, everything below it stops registering. Think of it like temperature. If you spend all day in a room set to a constant warm temperature, stepping outside into a cooler day feels cold. Even if it's perfectly comfortable by any objective measure, your brain doesn't judge absolute value. It judges relative change. It compares what is happening now against what it has learned to expect. When your feed delivers relentless novelty, sitting with a single difficult idea for 20 minutes feels like punishment. When your phone delivers instant answers, sustained independent thinking feels like suffering. When everything moves fast, slow feels broken. You are not losing the ability to focus because you're weak. You are not losing motivation because something is wrong with you. You are experiencing recalibration. Your nervous system has adjusted its baseline to match the environment it spends the most time in. And now, anything below that baseline, quiet, stillness, slow progress, delayed reward, registers as discomfort rather than normalcy. This is how control works in the 21st century, not through commands, through calibration, not through restriction, through the systematic removal of resistance. You are not being told what to do, you are being shown what is easiest. And a brain wired for efficiency will follow the path of least resistance every single time, unless that path has been deliberately redesigned. Here's the part that's hardest to admit. You know all of this. Maybe not in these exact words, but you know. You felt it. You know the gap between where you are and where you want to be. You can describe it clearly. You might have described it to someone else. You might have made a plan about it. And yet, when the moment comes, the actual moment, not the hypothetical one, you don't take the step. You sit there, feeling the weight of intention on one side and the pull of habit on the other. And habit wins. Willpower is not a character trait. It is not a fixed quantity. Research on what psychologists call ego depletion showed that self-control draws on a limited cognitive resource. Every decision depletes it slightly. Every suppressed impulse costs something. And by the time you sit down to do the thing that actually matters, that pool is low. Now place that depleted resource against an environment that has been professionally, expensively, and continuously optimized to bypass it. You are not fighting a fair battle. Look at your environment right now. Not metaphorically, literally. Where is your phone while you work? Is it on the desk, in your pocket, face down but still within reach? How many browser tabs are open right now that have nothing to do with what you're supposed to be doing? How many seconds of effort stand between you and complete escape? If the answer is almost none, you have already structured your environment for failure because nobody taught you that the environment is the variable that matters most. Every behavior follows a loop. Psychologist Charles Duhigg, drawing on decades of habit research, described it in 3 parts: cue, routine, reward. The cue is the trigger, and the cue is almost never a thought. It's almost always something in the environment, the sound of a notification, the sight of an unlocked screen. The routine is the automatic behavior that follows the cue. You don't decide to pick up the phone, you pick up the phone. The decision happened at a level below conscious awareness. The reward is the payoff, the brief relief, the moment of stimulation. And because the reward arrives immediately and reliably, the loop strengthens. Every repetition makes the groove deeper. Most people try to change by targeting the routine. They tell themselves, I'll scroll less, I'll resist. But they leave the queue completely untouched. The phone is still on the desk. This is not a failure of character. It is a misunderstanding of the mechanism. You are trying to redirect a river by announcing your plans to the water. The water does not care. It follows the slope, and until you change the slope, until you change the environment that generates the cues, you will keep following the same path. Let's stop softening this. Every time you reach for the phone instead of the work, you are not just losing 10 minutes. You are casting a vote. A small, quiet, automatic vote for the person you are in the process of becoming. Every time you choose the easy scroll over the hard page, you are not just delaying progress. You are training your nervous system to expect relief without effort. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you are not just postponing an action. You are practicing a belief that the present moment is not the moment, that future you will be somehow different, more capable, more ready. But future you is being built right now, by present you, not by your intentions, by your repetitions. Neuroscience has been consistent on this point. The brain wires itself around what you do, not what you intend to do. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself, does not care about your goals. It cares about your patterns. If you consistently choose comfort when discomfort arises, your brain optimizes for comfort seeking. If you consistently surrender attention to the nearest available stimulation, your brain stops expecting you to hold attention independently. You are not losing control because of something that happened to you. You are losing control because you have been practicing losing it. And the justifications are comfortable. That's what makes them dangerous. I don't have the energy right now. This is often true and also irrelevant. The system you're living inside is specifically designed to drain your energy on low-return activities so that high-return activities feel impossible. The exhaustion is not a reason to wait. It is a symptom. Most people have just found a story that makes avoidance feel like strategy. I just need to find my motivation. This is the most misleading. Motivation is not a resource you find. It is a byproduct you generate through action. It comes after you start, not before. Research consistently shows that action precedes motivation, not the other way around. You do not wait to feel ready. You act and readiness follows. You are not stuck because you lack talent or direction. You are stuck because the environment has been organized to make staying stuck the path of least resistance. Every comfort that requires no effort. Every escape that costs nothing. These are not neutral. They are pulling in a specific direction, and you have been following that pull without naming it. This is not about blame. This is about clarity. You are not a victim of your environment. You are a participant in it. And participation is something you can redesign. You change the environment, you change the results. You are in charge. Control is not something you summon. It is something you construct. And construction begins with removing the need for choice. Willpower is a bridge. Systems are the ground beneath it. When you rely on willpower, you are betting on your future state of mind. But feelings are weather. Systems are climate. You do not build a house that withstands storms by hoping for calm skies. You build it by reinforcing the foundation. The principle is simple. Eliminate the decision, not through restriction, through design. If you do not want to scroll at night, the phone does not belong in the bedroom. If you do not want to watch videos while working, the browser tabs are closed before you sit down. Not as a promise, as a boundary. You complicate what drains you. You simplify what sustains you. You make escape require effort. You make engagement require nothing. This is not about making life hard. It is about making the right path the default path. Human beings are optimization engines. So you must engineer the moment. You must arrange the first 3 seconds of any decision so that focus requires less effort than distraction. Start small. Not with grand overhauls, with micro-architectures, one drawer for the phone during work hours, one chair that is only for reading, One time block that is only for deep work. You are not building a prison. You are building a runway. And runways do not require motivation. They require clearance. External discipline comes first. Internal discipline follows. You do not wait until you feel focused to create focus. You create focus until it becomes familiar. You act disciplined until it becomes identity. The system does the heavy lifting. The mind adapts. The behavior stabilizes. And slowly, quietly, the need for force disappears. Because force is only required when the environment is working against you. When the environment works for you, control is not something you exert. It is something you inhabit. There is no neutral ground. There is no middle state where you are neither controlled nor in control. You are either designing your environment or it is designing you. You are either placing friction where it protects you or removing friction where it exposes you. You are either building systems that serve your direction or defaulting to systems that serve your distraction. This is not a warning. It is a mirror. Look at it. Not with shame, with clarity. The life you are living right now is not an accident. It is an output. And outputs can be traced back to inputs, to cues, to boundaries, to daily micro-choices that compound into identity. If you do not manage your environment, it will manage you. It will manage your attention, your time, your energy, and it will do it quietly, comfortably, efficiently, until one day you look up and realize you have been following a path you never chose. But you can choose now, not by trying harder, by building smarter, not by fighting yourself, by arranging the world so that the best version of you does not have to fight at all. The control you want is not inside you, it is around you, and around you is editable. Turn off the screen, look at the room, look at the phone, look at the desk. Ask one question: does this serve my direction or does it serve my escape? Then adjust, not tomorrow, today, not perfectly, intentionally. The current is strong, but currents can be redirected. And redirection begins with a single deliberate shift in the architecture. You are not being controlled because you are weak. You are being controlled because you have not yet built the structure that makes control unnecessary. Build it, and watch what happens when the environment finally works for you. The next video will show you exactly how to start, but the first step is yours. Take it.